Hello, the little wood mice and dormice. Welcome to our second session of Jigsaw. We are looking at dreams and goals, and today we're looking at never giving up. Just like last week, we are going to have our calm time. I've got our chime ready, so I need you to either stand nice and still or sit down in a quiet space where you'll be able to have your calm time. I'm going to start by using the sound of the jigsaw chime, and I'm going to ask you to listen until you can hear the sound no more. Okay, ready? I'm going to hit the chime now. Now take a deep breath in through your nose and puff out your rainbow breath through your mouth. Imagine you are blowing the fluffy clouds along as they drift through the sky. Feel your tummies going up and down as you breathe. Feel calm, peaceful and safe. So breathe in a deep and gentle breath through your nose while I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And gently breathe out your rainbow breath through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you imagine the colours of your rainbow breath? Let's try that again. I will count while you breathe. Lovely, gentle, deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. And out through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blow those clouds along gently. Feel your tummies getting bigger and smaller as they breathe in and out, like a balloon blowing up and then blowing down. Practice as many times as you can. When you breathe in, you feel strong and you don't give up. When we breathe in, we feel strong and we don't give up. When we breathe out, we feel gentle and calm. I'm going to do the sound of the chime again, and I'd like you to keep breathing in and out. A bit like last week, we were talking about things that we find tricky. So today's learning about is never giving up. So just like last week, we've got our question. What have you found tricky to do? And how did you manage to do it? So I know when I was little, I had to learn to ride my bike. I found that really tricky to start with. So I had to do lots of practicing, and I didn't always like doing it on the path because sometimes when I fell off it hurt. So I used to also practice on the garden and on the fields. And I also had my sisters to help me. So I've got 2 sisters, so when I found it a bit tricky, they would come and help me too. What I want you to do now is think of something that you might find tricky. And if you did find it tricky, how did you manage to do it? What did you do? Have a think. It might be that you share this with your mums and dads or your brothers or sisters if they're sat next to you, and they might be able to write down your ideas to share with me or Miss Sansom. Remember, when we find things tricky, we have to be our communicating dolphin. We've got to talk and let people know that it's tricky. We also have to be our persevering turtle. We need to really have a go and try things and not give up straight away. We also have to be an aiming high mountain goat, where we have to try things and sometimes we surprise ourselves at what we can do. A bit like last week, we're going to give you a challenge. One challenge might be that you decide to get your blocks, and I know lots of you had blocks because I saw these pictures last week, and you might decide to see if you can make a tower with 5 blocks. Then you might see if you can make a tower with 10 blocks, and then you might see if you can make a tower with 20 blocks. And think about how you found that activity. Was it tricky? And if it was tricky, how did you manage to do it? What did you need to do? Or you might decide to do this challenge where you make your own snakes and ladders, or if you've got a printer, I have attached some snakes and ladders that you might want to play. Remember, you need something as counters, and hopefully you've got a dice. If not, I will attach a dice too so that you can then make your own dice to use. You might take turns with your mum or dad or your brother or sister, or you might have a go on your own and see if you can roll the dice and move along that number on the board, and then you go up the ladders and down the snake. and see how far you get. You might, like I said, print out the ones that I've already attached, or you might make your own. When you're playing this game, see how you feel. Was it tricky? Was it okay? How did you overcome things that were tricky? I know when I play this game, I end up going down lots of snakes, so I don't get very far. And that can make me a little bit angry and frustrated because I just want to get to the top and I want to win. But I know that if I keep practicing and keep rolling the dice and having a go, that I hope I would get to the top. And that's okay if somebody else gets to the top before me, because it means that I'm working with somebody else and taking turns and playing a game. So what I'd like you to do now is either do your challenge of snakes and ladders, or a game that you might have at home that you can take turns, or like last week where you're using blocks, you might want to use other things around the house that you can stack and see if you can put 5 things in your tower, 10 things, or 20 things. And what I want you to think about is if you find it tricky, how do you overcome it? What do you do to be able to do it? And we'd like you to share that, and you might share that with a picture or a comment to see how you've got on with your learning.